Hello, folks. My name is King Pickle, and 2020 was, as 1% of my comments would say, bloody bollocks. It was pretty bad. But hey, we got some pretty good video games out of it, like Last of Us Part 2, Ghost of Tsushima, Hades, and many more that I didn't play. I didn't play those 3 games, which is pretty bad considering they were in a lot of people's top 5 games of the year. But just know that West Easy, that if one of your favorite video games didn't make the top 10 this year, just remember, it's because they probably suck. These were the 10 good games of 2020. There were no others. Number 10.
Number 10 is gonna be Fall Guys. That's right. Did this game die very quickly? Yes. Do I care? No. While this game lost steam within a month of it coming out, it was still good while it lasted. It was just nice having everyone online getting into a new viral online game. Viral doesn't seem like the right word anymore. It was a simple concept, executed well, and you enjoyed it. Yes, you, replying to every Fall Guys Twitter post with "dead game," you enjoyed it. It was like Wipeout combined with a Battle Royale. It was fun, admit it, you had fun. Coming in at number 9 is Cyberpunk 2077. Look, I made a whole video on why I think this game gets too much hate online, and you should just go watch that. TLDR, I think the world building and story is really good, and the gameplay is pretty fun. It's not for everybody, but you know what? I enjoyed it. Number 8 is going to be that indie game I'm qualified to talk about at least once every top 10 list that nobody actually played, but I really liked it. Dear God is going to be that game. This is an underrated game, even when we're talking about indie games. It's basically an endless wonder open world game. That's right, you do fun action platforming challenges through a procedurally generated world, but every once in a while you encounter a quest, there's items to find, fun characters to meet, an interesting plot. Oh yeah, and I don't think I have to mention it, but the pixel art and music are excellent. In a video game industry that has become too complacent when it comes to innovation, indie games have stepped up and have created some of my favorite games of the past couple of years. Oh yeah, and you create save points in this game by boning lady deers, and then you get a son, and if you die and your kid is still there, your kid takes over, but you can't create save points for a while because you're still growing. Also, you fight a giant harpy eagle at the end, and it's only $8, and I love it. Please go pick it up. So, number 7 is gonna be the funny Among Us game. I really don't know what else I have to add. It's fun. You already know it's fun. It completely banks on the group of people you're playing with, so if you think the game is boring, then I guess you just got some bad friends. It's, took the world by storm. It's cute. It's nice. Everybody likes it. Just sometimes it's frustrating trying to get a group of people to actually sit down and play it, but once you do, it's a really fun time. This is the last game before we go into the big boy tier of games that came out this year. SpiderMan Miles Per Hour was a really fun time. It was not this big SpiderMan PS4 sequel I dreamed of, but it was still good. If you played the SpiderMan DLC packs and like those, you'll probably get your money's worth. It was kind of just SpiderMan PS4, but the story is worse and the combat is a bit different. But a worse version of SpiderMan PS4 is still a really good game and deserves the number 6 entry on this list. Alright, time for my favorite games of the year. It's top 5 time. Time to make the internet mad at me. So, the order of these next 5 games doesn't really matter. My favorite game of the year really bounces every other day. There was just a lot of really good video games this year. So, number 5 is Legend of Zelda Hyrule Warriors Age Calamity. Now, if you looked at this game and thought, it looks like the gameplay gets repetitive after a while, trust me, you're dead wrong. I didn't think I would like this game as much as I did. I mean, I personally rarely didn't like the original Hyrule Warriors and thought that all Dynasty Warrior games were just bland and unoriginal. But god dang, this game is great. The combat is some of my favorite in any game. Developing combos and mowing down enemies has never been this satisfying. It's really impressive how they were able to translate the countless mechanics and features of Breath of the Wild into a more linear Dynasty Warrior-styled game. I mean, Link plays exactly like his Breath of the Wild counterpart, just on steroid. Impa is the cutest character in a video game ever, and this game has a meaty amount of playtime. It took me nearly 50 hours to 100% it. Listen, it's good. Just give the game a try. I promise you, you'll like it. Final Fantasy VII, one of the greatest video games of all time, and many were wondering whether the remake can hold up to fans' lofty expectations. I mean, it can, but neither can the second coming of Jesus. I loved nearly every aspect about this game. The story, characters, music, graphics, but I thought the game was a little bit too long. Makes sense because it's a game that's going from 6 hours in the original to 30, but it's weird how some of the best chapters in this game are followed up by some of the worst. But oh my god, the gameplay is great. Unlike the garbage Kingdom Hearts 3, this game is flashy while not being brain dead easy. It doesn't trade flashiness for just like being well-made, enjoyable combat. It's really fun, is what I'm trying to say. You've probably played it if this looks interesting to you. Doom, baby! This game's got that fist bump and adrenaline rush that can't be matched anywhere else in video games. Doom Eternal is so good. This game has what I like to call ape brain syndrome. It's where I can talk all I want about how the movement, art direction, game mechanics all blend in really nice to create a great video game experience, but no one cares about that when I can just talk about how freaking cool this is. So, you got this mid-air dash that goes whoop, then an assault rifle that goes brr, 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 brr. Then you get this chainsaw that goes rum, rum, rum. Then you get a freaking demon sword. Then the game goes, oh, you motherfuckers, here's a shotgun with a freaking grappling hook at the end of it. Why? Because fuck you, we're Bethesda. So I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I haven't finished Crash 4, but I am streaming it on my second channel, link is in the description. But even in the 10 hours I logged into this game, I know for a fact that this game is one of my favorite 3D platformers of all time. Like, the Insane trilogy was really good, but at times it still felt like a 3D platformer from the 90s, just with better graphics. But this game feels like the true innovation and step up the series needs. The level design is so good, and the controls are perfect. The 4 masks and 4 playstyles adds a lot to the variety of the game, and the art direction is beautiful, and the music is great, and the story is fun, and this game is hard as well, but it's also fair in its difficulty. It's definitely manageable, but it's still gonna get you at times. I've said this the past 3 entries, but just buy the game. It's good, I promise you. Or, again, you can just watch me stream on my second channel. Again, links in the description. Okay, bye, I love you. So, Animal Crossing New Horizons is my game of 2020. Now, even though I think there's probably 4 games that are better than this, I think the reason it's gonna be number 1 is because when we're looking back on that dog doo-doo pile of a year we just had, I think the main game we're always gonna be remembering is Animal Crossing. I mean, it sold so many copies, took over the internet for like 2 months straight. It was almost like an event, because no matter who you were talking to, there was a likely chance they were playing Animal Crossing. And it was just fun talking about people, the community was really nice, and it really did bring us all together. So yeah, Animal Crossing is gonna be my game of the year. Don't trust my opinion. Forbes did list me in the top 20 scumbags of 2020. I beat out ISIS.